Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Parody Podcast show hosted by me, Rachel Evans, aka the Human Barbie, aka Margot Robbie Barbie lookalike. We're on season 5, episode 4. Let's get straight into today's episode. So, guys, I want to talk about 3 things today. In the first half, we're going to talk about my behind the scenes story about appearing on ITV This Morning. And then in the middle, we're going to talk about my favorite high protein meals that I'm doing on the OMG My Barbie Body diet. That's what I refer to it as, OMG My Barbie Body. And then in the third half, I'm going to talk generally a few fitness, diet updates and tips about my weight, how much I've lost. So stay tuned to the end, guys. So let's get right into the first half. Okay, so we are now in October and season 5, I can't believe it. It's gone so quickly, right? Hasn't time flown, guys? Leave comments in my Instagram or on the podcast or YouTube so that you can even give me ideas for one of the future upcoming episodes. I'd love that. People do reach out to me on Instagram. And anyway, let's just get into the behind the scenes. One went live on ITV on This Morning. My interview there is the Human Barbie, Britain's oldest Barbie. Again, I wear the crown with pride. And I'm in the top 2 in the world. There's me in the UK and there's Marcella, who is in LA. So my appearance on ITV This Morning happened in July this year, and I'll take you behind the scenes, how I prepare for an interview live like that, and then what happened on the day. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about a TV show that footage I filmed at Comic-Con, London Film and Comic Con event that I was filming on the Friday before all the fans came on the Saturday and Sunday. I was rollerblading as Margot Robbie Barbie lookalike, and we were doing footage talking to fans, but the footage that I'll tell you later didn't make it into the UK section of the show. So it was for a documentary show, and I know that my scenes were cut because they were filming in America. So anyway, it was a great experience, but that's good because one of the producers did film me on my iPhone, so I can now upload that content because I signed an NDA. So obviously you can't talk about it or show footage or pictures even until the show airs. So the show's gone out, and but it was mainly about America and Mattel and all of that. And it was all filmed in America, so they didn't use any UK footage. So my scenes were cut. And I was rollerblading around the Comic-Con, and it was amazing. And I talked to fans, and they videoed me talking to at least 8 fans, men and women, kids, doing video calls with me going, oh my God, it's the Human Barbie. So anyway, my scenes were cut, which was a bit of a pity, but you know what? It's fine. It's all good. So anyway, first of all, I'm going to talk about behind the scenes on This Morning. I was on the sofa in July this year, on the sofa talking to Alison and Dermot, and it was absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed it. So as the Human Barbie, I talked about what I'm up to now, and Alison was really gorgeous. Dermot was fun as well. So this is the behind the scenes. So I got a phone call probably a week before I was on the show because TV is really fast paced. And so I had to make sure that it worked around my existing work commitment. So I was very grateful that This Morning, the producers worked around me and I worked around them, and we got it together and we made it happen. So I was sent a car. I had to go to the studios really early. So I was up at 5 o'clock in hair and makeup at home. Now, when I say in hair and makeup, I obviously put my hair extension in, did a base of concealer. I have my lashes. So I didn't have much to do. For TV, it's always good when you're doing interviews to let the makeup artist do your makeup, because I probably would have put way too much makeup on. So, in fact, the makeup artist that I had on the day was an actual makeup artist who worked on the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie, and I was absolutely besotted with the makeup artist. I'll put all the links and her name in the video later, and in the links as well. So she was such a dream to meet. I was so blown away that the makeup artist who worked on the Barbie movie with Margot Robbie, she actually did my makeup for the ITV This Morning. So I was so blessed. I was so happy. It was like, wow. And I can show you. So the makeup artist who did my makeup for ITV This Morning was Estelle Horder. That's me on ITV This Morning. And Estelle Horder is incredible. She's beautiful. And I was so honored that Estelle left me a lovely comment on my Instagram. And she said, it was lovely meeting you. So you can see it there. She said, it was lovely meeting you. She did my makeup and I looked really immaculate. And I hardly had any makeup on, but it was absolutely gorgeous. So if you can see, that's the makeup that she did. Can I show that there? Will it show? Yeah. So it was lovely and dewy. So big thank you to Estelle, who did my makeup for the ITV This Morning TV interview. And it was on the 21st of July. So my appearance on ITV This Morning was so cool. I was so honored to be asked to go on it. I've always wanted to be on the show, and it finally happened. So the producers rang me for an initial interview, and then they said, we really want you on the show. And then I had like a lunchtime interview, talking on the phone. We have a talk through, and then they set it all up, and then they send me the call sheet, so to speak, the email with what time I'm going to be picked up. So they sent a car driver to pick me up, which was lovely. And I was in full Margot Robbie Barbie rollerblade outfit. And just like, I'm going to show my viewers as well as the listeners. The listeners can hear, but the viewers are going to see. I'm holding up my Barbie doll with the rollerblade. So this is the outfit. This is the outfit I wore in full Margot Robbie Barbie. So I wore the rollerblade Barbie outfit, and I literally got out the car, and all I had to do was put the rollerblades on. So I went into the green room, and in the green room, there was a couple of models there, really lovely. So I sat down for a bit, and then one of the producers came in and took me around the studios for a bit and had a chat. Asking me questions, making me feel at ease, really. And I was really grateful for that. So they asked me a few questions about what I'm doing, and it was just such a lovely, lovely experience. For those of you who haven't seen it, you can see it on ITVX, and you can see Human Barbie on the sofa with Alison and Dermot. On the prep before, so behind the scenes, so before I was on the show, I was going through my Barbie outfit rail thinking, what am I going to wear? And I thought, which outfit from the Barbie movie? And I thought the rollerblade, because I've not been interviewed on TV with my rollerblade outfit on anyway. It's the actual copy of, I got it imported from America, and so I did photo shoots with it, but no one's actually published on TV me wearing the outfit, so that was the perfect moment to do it. Anyway, on the show, on the interview, I did talk about my mom dying of cancer and my twin sister Rebecca committing suicide, and how I hid behind my face for many years because it was kind of like the pain of the procedures I loved, and I was addicted to kind of creating this Barbie aesthetic, which I've now stopped doing the fillers, and I just have threads, and I just do Botox, hardly anything, because I know where to stop. So I actually want to promote a better image for not having too much filler or treatments on your face, especially if you don't need it. But obviously my journey was 19 years of the Barbie transformation, because I was a borderline anorexic in my early 30s, and I was always really skinny. And so people who used to troll me say, oh, why does she keep talking about being skinny? Because if you knew my history, peace and love to the trolls, by the way, but if you knew my history, I was a borderline anorexic in my 30s, so I had a lot of damage to my face. I had lost all the fat pads, and they're called fat pads here, and all the bone structure of my face was just like gaunt. So I had to put on weight in a healthy way, which is why I competed as a bikini athlete, put muscle on, and then reconstruct the contours of my face, because I'd suffered from depression in my 30s after losing a stillborn baby twin. And it's in my book, Inside the Studio with Rachel, a few things, but something, it's more of a photographic book, and they promoted my book on the end of the show, which was lovely, because I didn't even expect Alison to mention it. Shout out to Alison, love you, you're beautiful, you're such a beautiful heart, I love her, and she's a real life Barbie. So I enjoyed the show, but also taking you behind the scenes, doing press interviews is very stressful, but doing TV is like a buzz. It's an adrenaline buzz. So when I was in the green room before and after the interview, it's very well organized. You're chaperoned to the car, into the driver's car, and then home again. And I did little videos, for Instagram about just being on set. But also I didn't really push that I was going on the show until it's aired, because that's what I like to do. As a trained actor, you kind of don't want to jinx it. You like break a leg, but you also let it air, and then people, hey guys, I appeared on This Morning. Do you know what I mean? So that was the July interview that I did on ITV This Morning on the sofa with Alison and Dermot. And then I filmed in the rollerblade Barbie outfit, rollerblading at Comic-Con. So it was the London Film and Comic Con event. I was there on the Friday. Again, this is for a documentary that my scenes were cut. So this is a second TV filming I was doing. But basically it was filmed in America, and it was about Mattel, but they filmed the American scenes, but they didn't have time to put the UK footage in as the UK Human Barbie. And it was a very interesting show, but I don't want to go into that because that's not the subject of the podcast. This is behind the scenes. So all the footage that I did filming for another mainstream TV documentary, my scenes were not in the final edit, and the producer was like, "I'm so sorry, Rich, we love working with you, but we didn't put the UK footage in the show. We didn't have enough time." I was like, "No problem." So I've even got a video of me that the producer filmed, because I had a feeling, I thought, I've got to get footage of me with the fans walking, rollerblading, like gliding like Margot Robbie. So it's called the glide, where you kick back with your right foot and then you glide forward in a straight line without your feet going forward, left and right. So I was gliding for the first time on camera, and I was like, oh my God, I hope I don't fall over. Which I didn't. And it was amazing. The cameramen, there was 2 cameramen. I was mic'd up, 2 cameramen filming me, going all around, pretending the cameras are not there. It's a reality kind of documentary format, so that the people who interact with me don't feel like they're on camera. And we chatted to some Asian, Chinese, English guy, talking about the Barbie movie, giving their positive, interpretation and comments on the Barbie movie, and also my footage of me interacting with fans. Like one mom said, "Oh, my daughter loves Barbie. Can you do a video?" So we FaceTimed her, and she was like, "Oh my God, the Human Barbie. Oh my God." And that was lovely. But the footage didn't make it onto the show, this documentary that came out. To do TV as the Human Barbie, you have to be ready to hit your mark, as they call it. So in acting training, you're told rehearse, rehearse, rehearse when nobody's watching. And then one day when the cameras are on and they book you, you've got to hit your mark. And that's what I do. So most of the time when the cameras are not following me around filming, I'm at home rehearsing, practicing, learning lines, going through the Barbie script, in my outfits, making sure my outfits are okay, getting hair and makeup and everything ready to be like TV ready. And it takes a village to get this ready. To my viewers, I pointed to myself, and I'm just cracking a joke. But for the listeners, you know what I mean, because those of you who are new to my podcast, welcome. To all the new listeners and viewers, I'm building my podcast. So don't forget, please subscribe and listen. And I'm going to hopefully drop every week at least 1 or 2 episodes now. And I'm not really into self-promotion, but I know I've got to say that. So you can also follow me on Instagram, Rachel Evans Bikini with the underscores. So the next part, so that's behind the scenes filming 2 TV shows, mainstream. Now I want to talk a bit about my diet, like I promised. So we're going to talk about my diet, my weight. You can see the chapters. And so if you want to fast forward, or you're excited about some other part of the video, you can rewind it, pause it, or you can forward it to the subject that you want to see, because there are chapter markers in the video format for my viewers and for my listeners. You guys, thank you for staying tuned. So we're going to talk about my weight. My weight was something like 56.9 kilos. But anyway, when I went on holiday, I had to get bikini ready. I kind of was still carrying weight I didn't like, but I was happy, you know what I mean, to be in a bikini. But for me, it's how you feel. And I'm very athletic. I'm an ex-bikini athlete in my 40s. I won Bikini Model Champion. So you guys who follow that journey know I'm hardcore training as a bikini athlete with a coach. And now I'm back into it. So I wanted to focus on my goal, which is to lose weight, build muscle, and be healthy. Because cardiovascular health is a big thing for me. I do half an hour 4 or 5 times a week on the Stairmaster. And that's probably considered one of the most, if not the most, challenging forms of cardio you can do. It's hard. And then obviously I increase my protein because I want to burn fat. I want to lose fat. So I cut out the sugar. And then I will have a tiny amount of sugar in my diet, but mainly protein, carbs. Obviously carbs convert to sugar, but the right kind of carbs. So I'd have vegetable carbs, net carbs, which is the veg. But again, you've got to be careful with your veg because it can cause bloating. So broccoli and certain veg don't agree with me. Anyway, so here's one of my favorite meals. I'll have turkey mince with a little bit of rice, like a cup of rice, if I'm on super low carbs, and then I'll have vegetables with it. And that's my main meal for the day. And then for my lunch, I intermittent fast in the morning. This is only for now. My diet changes throughout the year, but right now I'm intermittent fasting in the morning. And then I will have coffee, obviously coffee, with sweetener, because I don't want to, you break the fast, but it's kind of still okay for me. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, because I'm not doing the keto. Anyway, so the thing is, I have my coffee to wake up. If I'm going into London for meetings, I've got to be wide awake, and then I won't eat until 12:30. And then I'll have 2 rice cakes and a banana. And then I'll have lunch at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, which will be 2 rice cakes and tuna. So then I will not eat anything until I get home. Well, actually, I go to the gym. So that's if I'm in London. So it depends where I am. If I'm at home, I'll do intermittent fasting till like 4 or 5 o'clock because I'll be filming and I'm not eating like today. So today, what did I have? I had a protein coffee and a couple of teaspoons of almond butter, because if I'm really depleted, and today I was really depleted, cut. Today I felt very depleted, so that's when I feel like worn down, exhausted, low energy, because I'm on a cutting diet and I'm 1 week out from an event, so I want to be ready for the cameras. And I've been doing it with my new bestie, Stevie. You know who you are. And he's really inspired me. I couldn't have done it without him. I check in with him every day. We talk every day throughout the day, and he's like such an important part of my life that I know that I'm blessed to call him a friend and that he's helping me. It's on the phone. It's not in person. And he's like, come on, girl. So my favorite meals were the ones I've just mentioned. And then, so I have different carb cycles of the diet, and I'll go into more depth now. So carb cycling is something I learned to do when I used to compete as a bikini athlete, and I got diet and nutrition advice from Sarah Bridges, IFBB Pro Judge. Rest in peace, Sarah. She passed away several years ago. And she helped write my diet, which literally was in January 2013. And that year I competed in 4 or 5 shows and I won 1, but it wasn't in the UK BFF. It was in a different federation. It was like a one-off fitness show. And my weight when I was competing went from 2013. It was so low. I was borderline anorexic. It was like 51 something kilos. Then I went up to 52. And I think my competition weight when I won was 53.5. When I won Bikini Model Champion TFE, Total Fitness Extravaganza, and that was 2013. And then I competed for 4 more years. I competed in about 10 or 11 shows and on stage. But obviously over 4 years, your body takes a beating. And what happened is my body got fatigued and I needed to just take a break from the fitness industry. So that's why I left competing and just became more Human Barbie, because that was just who I am. And I had to suppress being the Human Barbie when I was in the bodybuilding industry because it was still quite new then and people didn't understand what it meant. So I had to be taken seriously when I was competing, but I still was myself, because when I won the show, I competed in the stage theme round as Barbie, and I had a muscle Barbie t-shirt on and I had my pigtails as Barbie. So I was the Human Barbie on stage in 2013 when I won the show. And I was age 43 and I competed in the over 35, which was then the masters category. So yeah, that's quite a big thing. And I was really happy. And then I continued to compete because it was the lifestyle that I wanted to do. It wasn't about winning a trophy, although I had that title and the trophy under my belt. So in mid 40s to late 40s, I was out of the fitness industry competing, but I was always into fitness and I was always in and out of the gym and doing my diet. So carb cycling is something that I learned all through those years, and you have to apply it in a certain way and listen to your body, because you can look at diet and nutrition, but it won't work for every single human being. Every body is different. So for me, when I say I'm carb cycling, that means that I'll have high carb days, low carb days, and no carb days, or minimal carb days. Most of my diet in the last 2 weeks has been very minimal carbs, like net carbs, like hardly anything. So I've been training consistently on super minimal carbs, and that's what a depletion diet is. So you get rid of the fat, you lose fat at an accelerated rate, and then you get what they call in the industry stage ready. So it's before a photo shoot, before filming TV, or just to get into a bikini and look good. So my abs are coming through, my obliques come through, the lines down the side of my abs come through, and my upper 2 abs are showing. And now I don't want to get a 6-pack now because I don't need it, but I want the dress that I'm wearing it's a figure hugging Skims dress, and it's like literally a second skin. So it's like this one, it's really stretchy. And I've got a C-section scar that's been damaged. So over the years, it's got worse. It's got more slanted and it shows through like my underwear, and it's weird. It's like a little bulge slanted where the surgeons sliced the muscle. The C-section scar when I was competing was visible above the bikini line, but now it's got worse. So I will look into one day having that looked at because I do want to get my 6-pack, 4-pack. But in the meantime, my bikini body is looking really good and I'm really happy. So coming on to, so we've talked about behind the scenes, 2 TV shows, And then I've talked about my diet and my nutrition and my training. And now I'm going to go into more details. So I was at the beginning of August, just under 57 kilos. It was 56.8 or 9 or something like that. And then by mid-August, it went down. But now I am 52.9 kilos. So you can see since the beginning of August, I've lost a lot of weight, but I've literally earned it. I don't do surgery, nothing like that. I literally do the diet. I do the training, the hardcore training. I'm now hoping to get down another half a kilo, maybe another kilo. We'll see how my body comes in, because the lower stomach is the area that the fat is sort of tiny little bit of like that needs to go. My glutes are tight and high. I've lost a good 3 inches off the lower glutes where the water sits on my body. I've lost a lot of weight off my thighs in terms of the back where the hamstring is. I've got really great aesthetic that I'm happy with now. For me, I've got to do bikini athlete poses to show the muscle, and I've got, baby muscles that are coming on, and I love that they're coming through now. So that's good. So I'm bikini ready in the run up to Christmas. But like I said, I've got a couple of events and photo shoots that I've got coming up. So I'm 1 week out. And then, so when I'm 2 weeks out, that's when I start the brutal cut. They call it the cutting diet, where you literally go, boom, that's it. Very strict diet. But I'll talk again in detail on a diet podcast, but I'm just touching the basics now. Okay, so the third part of the Parody Podcast show is going to be a little bit of my Human Barbie lifestyle update. So this is what I've been up to this year. I've spent the whole spring and summer working on music. I'm working with an artist, and he's a young up-and-coming musician. He's brilliant. He's a genius. He literally writes melodies every day. And so what he writes melodies, I'll write the lyrics, and then we'll piece the lyrics and the melody together to make a song. So he'll send me a melody in gibberish based on the lyrics or the tone. I'll be like, because I can't read music. I've got a keyboard and I can learn chords, but something, I play by ear. So I'll have the lyrics. It's more like poetry and then lyrics, and I'm learning the structure of lyrics and how to write better lyrics. So I can write lyrics in my sleep, because that's it, writing in my voice. My voice translates into lyrics. I know what I think and feel, and I know I make music from it. So the first song was Party Time, and the next one was Used to Be. They're available on Spotify and Apple Music. And the third one is a new track. I love it. It's a bit more dark. It's a bit kind of like rock chick Barbie. So it took me a while to actually get the melody and think I could do it. I decided to match the lyrics to the melody. So Sean would send me the melody and I go, dun, 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 dun. So every part of the melody I'd feel an emotion, and that emotion translates into a lyric or a vibe. So I've got the melody, then I would put the lyrics, then it wouldn't work. Then I did a second set of lyrics that sort of worked, and then the third time lucky, Sean's like, yep, these lyrics fit the melody. Then he'd send me his version of it, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. His voice is amazing. And then I've got to go in the studio. I did a run through rehearsal in the studio, and then now I've got to just record it. This will be out before Christmas anyway. So that's 3 songs I've got available on Spotify and Apple Music, on all of the streaming music platforms where you can get it on your TV, Spotify as well. So I've got 5 songs to do by the middle of next year, and I'm going to do an album. Yes. So music is my love. And apart from being on TV and being the Human Barbie, I'm the singing Human Barbie. Yeah, talking about my life in music, because I communicate better in music, I find. I communicate my emotions better in music. And if people want to hear the music, they can resonate with me musically rather than just the visuals. I love the visuals of doing photo shoots and TV. I love it. It's my first love. But music is how I express my pain or my hopes or my fears, and I want to resonate with people's hearts. And, music is one of the best ways to do that. So I'm working on the music, and I quietly do it. I don't talk about it. I don't tell anyone. And then I just get the song out, and that's it. And, the whole thing is that I decided to do the music and the songs because I've always had it in me. But when I do private gigs, like if someone hires me at a party, I can use a PA system and sing my own music without a copyright strike. So I wanted to be able to entertain people, and that's where I'm going. That's what I'm doing, and that's the vision. All of the visions that I have ultimately come true. I take the steps to make it happen, and it's hard work, and I do a lot of it as a solo producer of my own work. And I enjoy it though. I wouldn't change it for anything, especially when you can connect with people in real life and they're lovely and they give you a look and a smile. I still get one or two funny looks from people, but it doesn't matter. I smile to myself and think, oh, that's weird. But then I say a prayer for them, because you know something? There's no point letting any real life haters or trolls or people who don't get you, no point absorbing that energy. And that brings us to the end of the podcast. And I promise I will talk about energy without sounding too geeky, because I measure people in their energy like a radio wave. You know, it's not just how you look, it's how you speak, the tone of your voice, how you make people feel. And you know, the people that I come into contact with, every single human being that I come into contact with or I work with, I try and make them feel good about themselves, and I'm genuinely interested in them. You know, I want to connect with people, and I used to find it really difficult. And to some point, I still find it difficult, but I feel like I found a formula where if I just ask people basic questions, you see them come alive and then they show you their heart. Or if you're dealing with people who aren't as open, or people who might not have a good energy, like narcissistic personalities, they are good actors, but you then find out that they're not authentic, so you distance yourself from them. So yeah, I've studied a lot of psychology over the years because human nature is very complex. And maybe one day I'll do a podcast about how I've learned from different personality types. But to be honest, it's not really for me as the Human Barbie to talk about people or sound like I'm criticizing. I just want people to know I'm very observant. I'm very in tune with energy and people's energy. In fact, it was the episode of First Dates that I did many years ago after saying no 3 times. I said no twice, and it was the third time. I said, oh, I like his aura, his energy. And that's exactly consistent with how I see people. I see people through how I listen, how I vibrate, you know. So the vibe, we all do it. You always say, oh, I got a bad vibe, or I get really good vibe, or good vibes only, positive vibes only. But as you can see on the socials, as we end this podcast episode, I just want to give you a sneak peek into one of the future episodes, which will be about people's energetic field, their energy and the vibes, and how we can all be fooled by people's vibes, but also the complex nature of human nature, and how we can sometimes distance ourselves from other people so that we protect our own energy field. And it's very important to love yourself, self-love. Like Barbie, she loves herself. She's had over 200 careers. Ken is Barbie's biggest cheerleader and support, and her friends is like, hi Barbie, hi Ken, hi Barbie, hi Barbie, hi Barbie. And you know something? This is what I resonate, and this is what I love, you know? So we'll talk about that in another podcast episode. Thank you for listening to the Parody Podcast show hosted by me, Rachel Evans, and I can't wait to connect with you guys again. Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye. Barbie, love and hugs.